Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out! There goes Spider-Man.
The first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, what happened? They turned this into a kid's film. Spider-Man's jokes were terrible, like, don't call me late for dinner. And when, spoiler alert, when we get to the death of Gwen Stacy, which the actual scene was very well done, and I did have...
I cried.
I did. I have to admit that I choked up. But the fact that the Green Goblin character came in the last third of the movie, it felt very underdeveloped as a subplot. How are we going to show that he's a goblin? We're going to give him a crazy haircut. So the way that the scene happens feels like an afterthought. What did you think, Lisa?
I felt that they were trying to mix way too many villains into the movie. I think they could have ended the movie right when she died and then brought in the villains maybe after the credits, or brought it into the third movie, which they're obviously going to make.
You want to end on a good point. Gwen Stacy's death, setting up for the Evil Six, or what are they called?
Sinister Six.
The Sinister Six. You could have set it up for that and then just stop.
I love this movie
Really?
so much. I went in and I didn't know what to expect, and I had a blast. I had a nostalgia trip the whole time. I felt like I was a little kid again watching my first Spider-Man cartoon, and I had so much fun. Also, electro and dubstep is my new OTP. That's one true pairing.
Okay. You're a big comic book fan. What's your impression, buddy?
It was a fun movie. It wasn't a great movie. There was a scene that really touched me was there's a child getting bullied, and Spider-Man actually swings onto the scene, stops the other children from bullying the nerdy kid, fixes the nerdy kid science project, hands it back to him, and offers to walk him home. And that was something so heroic, so touching, that really, it showed how inspiring the character is.
It was cheesy, but I think that's what they were aiming for. I didn't really like the film that much. It had some laughable moments.
Not intentionally laughable, you're saying?
Yes, there were parts in it that I was laughing at that was serious, and then it was dead silent in the theater, and me and Becca are chuckling to ourselves.
Kyle, you were very trepidatious going into this film. What was the reason?
I didn't like the first Amazing Spider-Man. I was actually quite content with the Sam Raimi movies. I thought Tobey Maguire was great. Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know. I thought it was awesome.
Tobey Maguire is sent from heaven. I have to say this movie had one of the worst soundtracks in cinematic history. Becca, what do you think?
I'm going to pay for it. And that means a lot. I'm going to pay for the soundtrack. I loved it so much. It was so bad. I loved it.
I thought the music cues were inappropriate. All the songs, the radio songs that they threw in this movie were horrendous. What do you think of Andrew Garfield?
I think I like him better as Spider-Man. I like the one-line. They're bad in this one, but I do like the way he portrays his character with the one-liners and kind of fun-loving, whereas he's kind of just whiny. But the Tobey Maguire is better, I think, as Peter Parker.
When Sally Field as Aunt May gives this speech about, you sit here and talk about your perfect father, and he wasn't even here. That was actually a moment in the film that actually felt very truthful to me. You know, here's some advice, guys. If you're going to write dialogue for Spider-Man, why don't you just use Stan Lee's dialogue? He's still the best Spider-Man writer, I think.
I've never read a Spider-Man comic.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Did you think there was anything wrong with it or no?
Oh, I definitely agree that there were some things wrong with it. I thought they should have ended it with the death of Gwen Stacy, even though I don't agree with that as a plot point at all.
But it was in the comic books. Why wouldn't they have it in the movie?
Because it was stupid in the comics?
Why was it stupid?
Well, they killed her because they didn't know what else to do with her character, right?
But it was a well-handled story by Jerry Conway and Gil Kane.
I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm saying that maybe when your movie has two female characters, you don't kill off one who is strong and good and a great character. It didn't make sense because the rest of the movie was very lighthearted. Then you have this extra element where it's a little grittier, and I don't think that's where they should go with Spider-Man. It's not Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises. I don't like gritty Spider-Man.
I do have to agree, I don't like a gritty Spider-Man, but in the comic, right, the whole idea is that it's a tragedy. Peter Parker is partly responsible for Uncle Ben's death, and Peter Parker is responsible for Gwen Stacy's death. So I think that's why it follows naturally out of the comics, whereas in this movie, they don't develop the theme well enough. Alicia, I hear you're a big fan of that.
No, not even a little.
Why not?
I don't like the trope of the woman in the refrigerator. They kill off a character, a female character, to kind of add angst or emotional development to a male character's storyline, and it drives me crazy. It happens so much, and Gwen Stacy is like the queen of the woman in the refrigerator.
Well, she's the first one, so isn't it okay if they adapt it?
No.
Why not?
because it's done once doesn't mean it has to be done every time. It's a movie adaptation. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the comics because it's never going to be exactly the same as the comic.
It'd be like adapting a book and changing the ending. They adapted the comic.
They do that all the time.
They shouldn't, though. Kyle, what do you think?
The Shining.
Okay, never mind that. Here's the thing. I'm glad that they did it. Jerry Conway, Gil Kane, I remember you. Actually, Jerry Conway's still alive.
I do agree that a lot of the movie I could not take seriously, but when they did get to the death scene, I did not expect it in this movie. I did not.
So when you spoiled it for me, you were just talking out of your hat, or what? Dane DeHaan.
I thought he was a major improvement over James Franco. He had it was a nuanced performance. Dane was awesome. He captured the kind of self-torment that Harry has, where he has the conflict against his father, the alone in the world. It's Harry against the world in this film. And in the end, he has to use his own wits and his own abilities and capabilities to define himself as a hero or villain, right? I liked what they did with Harry Osborn because he was the hero in his own story. Moral-wise, he does nothing really wrong in the film, short of the final act. The relationship between Harry and Peter was rushed. I felt like
Skipping rocks? Is that a rock?
I felt like they captured the essence of it properly.
It's a classic episode in tragedy in which you have people who grow up being friends and then eventually end up being enemies. It goes back thousands of years to The Fox and the Hound, and I'm glad that they used it in this movie because they executed it perfectly. You know what I mean?
I like how he's so kiddish and happy-go-lucky, and
Once again. Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
and but then all these people start dying around him, and I think he's starting to realize, I gotta start being serious here. I can't start messing around with everybody.
Robert Orci and Alex Kurtzman, famous for writing Fringe, the Star Trek reboot, and Armageddon. These guys seem to write everything. What do you think, Kyle?
The writing was uneven in this movie because I know they also wrote Transformers 1 and 2.
Whoa. Okay.
And that's bad writing.
Yeah, bad
this
writing.
movie has some decent writing and then a lot of bad writing.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's made some of the direction too. I don't know because some of their villains, they let Paul Giamatti go so over the top. He's basically from Batman and Robin.
I know.
He was Schwarzenegger basically.
What'd you think of the actress who played Black Cat?
She's so hot.
She's very, very pretty.
I think she's very pretty too.
That's what I didn't like about the team up of Green Goblin and Electro was it seemed like we're going to capture the Batman. We're going to get Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's an overdone idea in comic book movies and in comic books. It's just let's team up just because we don't like this guy.
Not since Venom teamed up with Sandman has there been a more random team up.
Yeah. It just didn't make sense. If it was okay, I need you to help me get Spider-Man so I can get his blood so I can survive. That would have made sense.
Yeah.
Blue Jamie Foxx, he was good. I mean, way more than I expected out of the character in terms of emotional development and even character, but his personality was really wonky. His mindset shifted to fit whatever the situation at hand, and that's what I didn't really like about it.
I don't disagree with both of you. I do not really like the previous Spider-Man movies.
Tobey Maguire?
No.
I know a lot of people probably won't like the movie, but as a fan who loves childlike Peter Parker, who is an 18-year-old boy and should act like that, I liked it a lot.
Played by a 35-year-old actor, though, right?
Cute 35-year-old actor.
No.
He's not that cute.
It's so weird how I've seen television series that have better serious dramatic writing than big budget movies.
Like, for example, Arrow. In the thrill of the night, at the scene of the crime,
like a stream of light,
he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Hey there goes the Spider-Man. Life is a great big hang-up. Wherever there's a hang-up, you'll find the Spider-Man. She is the star, so. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Okay.
I loved Electra. I thought it was
Electro.
Electra. That's what I said.
Didn't you say Electra?
No.
The Electra, I wanted to get in a few comments.
Electro.
I said Electra.
No, I heard Electra. Hello. Now it's time for the main event. Armando D'Alessandro. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
For you. Baby, I'm not moving on. I'll love you long after you're gone. For you. For you.